Welcome back to Talking Too Much with Hannah O'Reilly. I'm Hannah O'Reilly, and this is episode 6. Welcome back. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you see the background of this, and it's different next week or in the weeks to come, you know I've hit my breaking point. Okay, I love doing this podcast. I really do. I have a lot of fun with it. And we're just getting started. Obviously, we're only on episode 6, but I'm already at my wit's end with the tech side of things. And I know it's going to take time, and I'm going to eventually build this and build a team. And yeah, you know, I'm going to get there. But I really don't think I can go another week with the tech. You would think it'd be easy. It's the same lighting. It's the same camera. It's the same mic. It's, you know, we're not doing anything too crazy here. But there's always an issue. A light dies. Today, the camera SD card's not working. The audio will go out. I'm like, I can't. I'm looking into spaces to rent studio-wise because I can't take another second of this. It eats up so much time. And then by the time I'm sitting in this chair to talk, I am so over it. Now, we're going to be fine. And I'll be able to turn this back around. But you hit a point where you're like, I don't even want to sit now. Like you have, and I'm talking to the equipment that's surrounding me right now. You have sucked the life out of me that I don't even want to do this now. So, but we're not going to let the equipment win. Okay? So, how was everyone's weekend? Mine was fun. Thank God we got another good weekend. I really, now of course it's pouring rain and thundering today, but we'll take what we can get. And I'm not going to start every episode talking about the weather, but you know, when it's summertime and it rains every freaking day, it leaves me no choice. My weekend was good. Hung by the pool again. It was another relaxing weekend. Got a lot done, and I'm happy about that. It was a mix between relaxing, social, all the things. But you know, on the weekends I post a lot of my, you know, content, whether it's from the podcast, whether I'm doing a vlog of my life, some sort of video content is getting posted. And, you know, I found myself really getting sucked into comparison and checking numbers and checking comments and this, that, and the other, and spending, quite frankly, a sickening amount of time on my phone. Not while I'm like with people and doing things, but I just mean in general. Like, I am so addicted to the phone and I'm not using it for good. Like, I am, because I am putting my content out, but I'm also abusing it in the sense of using it to compare myself to where I'm not at. Okay. And that's not good. And that's a problem. And I'm sure a lot of people deal with that. I mean, it's like talked about nonstop. But you know, it's, how do I say, like, I like using social media. I like using it for work, and I like consuming content because it gives me a lot of inspiration. It shows me like new editing techniques or fonts, outfit ideas, things like that. But when you kind of cross that threshold between using it for inspo and using it as research into using it as a way to make yourself feel bad, and that's obviously not my intention when I go on there, that's when it gets to be not useful anymore. And now we're just making ourselves miserable. And I'll be honest, hot take, I think it's why a lot of people have issues nowadays. I really do. I think a lot of issues stem from social media, because when you're young and you're using social media, you almost were born into it. You don't have enough sense. Like, thank God I have enough sense to say, I think it's time to put this down. Sometimes it hits me too late and I'm like, I should have put that down an hour ago, and I didn't. But when you're young, you don't even realize, like, this is your world, the world you live in, and this is what you think people are doing. And you don't even know enough about yourself to even recognize, I'm not feeling so hot. So I can't even imagine being in high school and having social media at the level that it's at. That's when it falls, I feel falls on the parents to maybe step in and put some, I'm not a parent, so I don't know why I'm sitting here giving parenting advice. This is not a parenting advice podcast. And this is not a tech podcast. Okay. Well, I've made that clear. But what this is an advice podcast. It's a laughter podcast. It's a hot takes podcast. That's why I'm here. And my hot take is, the phones are causing a lot of issues. So obviously with this podcast, I've been wanting to put a lot of clips out and funny edits and, whatever. And it is so difficult to not compare my podcast to other podcasts or the clips or the likes and that's when you start to lose yourself. When it's no longer, when you're not putting stuff out and you're just like, I'm posting this for fun. It's not enjoyable. That's when it's not fun. And this is still fun for me. And I'm glad I'm recognizing this now because I want to preserve this. But even aside from the podcast and the clips, I see this with like body image or outfits or, very much so keeping up with the Joneses. I think I talked about keeping up with the Joneses like 2 episodes ago. It is very easy to fall into the trap that is caused by social media. Now, obviously, we could fall into this trap in our day-to-day life. People at work, people in our social circle that we compare ourselves to. It's not a good place to be, but we all do it. My goal after I put this episode out is to not care about the numbers. Not care about the numbers. We're doing this regardless. Like, I'm still going to do the, even if every episode was a flop, I'm still going to keep doing this. But I don't want to take it personally if things aren't performing well anymore. It's not fun. It sucks the joy out of everything. And then it makes you really feel like, like you just don't feel good. Like you're going through life and you're viewing everything from like a lack standpoint. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want to feel like, oh, I don't have this. My numbers aren't here. We will never be happy if that's how we're going to do things. 2 episodes ago, I think it was, I talked about how, people will start to get angry at other people or annoyed with other people as a way to kind of deflect from what they weren't able to do. Like if someone has something or someone is going after something and you start talking crap on it or you start, you just start judging somebody else, it usually is coming from a place of like, no, that's a reflection of what I didn't do. I think, so I talked about that and I had said in the episode, when I'm talking during this podcast, I'm also talking to myself and it's true. Like I'm not giving advice because I've figured it out. I'm talking about things that would help me in the hopes that it would help at least one other person. So, all that to say, my goal, if you want to join me on this journey, I'm going to really check myself when it comes to the comparison thing because it just sucks the joy out of things. Anyway, okay, enough about that. That seems like that was a little bit depressing. So we're gonna switch gears now. That was just something that was top of mind, and that was something I was like dealing with today. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go talk about it on the podcast. Where else am I gonna talk about it? Another thing I wanted to talk about today is, and my friend, I was on the phone I think I already said this, but I was on the phone with my friend for like 2 hours this morning. And we were talking about feeding the beast. Okay. And that may sound weird, but I'm going to explain. So oftentimes, if you're anything like me, a lot of times when things happen, you immediately want to complain about them. As I started this entire podcast off complaining, but I'm sorry, I get a pass. I already was having such a positive first half of my day, so let me have it in the second half. We're learning, okay? But when something happens, like let's say it's with another individual, your first reaction maybe, at least mine is like, I need to complain about this. I need to go talk to somebody about this. I need to text somebody about this. I need to call someone. Like, I just want to vent. And I don't even give myself like a beat. Like, I don't even take 1 second to just sit back, take a breather, watch things happen. It's like, I got to react quick. And something I'm really, really trying to work on is not reacting as quickly. And, if something's bothering me, maybe after a day, 2 days, 3 days, then I'm going to talk about it. But the reactions are sometimes so quick, and then I become so over it after that I'm like, why did I even get that worked up? So that's where the feeding the beast comes in. So let's say you are in a social situation and let's say your friend does something and it just really, really grinds your gears, your initial reaction might be, I need to text my friend who's not here about this, and I need to go off about this and send paragraphs and fill her in on X, Y, and Z. You're feeding the beast. The beast is something that's inside of you. And every time, now I'm obviously, these are metaphors, okay? I'm not a weird wizard girly talking about dragons and beasts. The beast is inside of you, okay? And it's negativity. And every time you call someone, text someone, and you just start going off about things, what you're doing is feeding that beast, and you're giving that beast more time to live inside of you. Every word you speak is one more piece of food that goes into the beast's mouth. Every word you text that's negative is one more piece of food that goes into the beast's mouth. You see something online, you want to send it to somebody immediately, like someone's post of someone you know, whatever you're doing. Every time you do something like that, you're feeding the beast, and the beast gets to stay one more day, one more week, one more month. Soon enough, the beast becomes so big that you end up having a crash out. Like, it hits you eventually. You become so negative. You ruin your own day. Things aren't working out. Maybe that's what happened with my tech situation. That was just the beast finally trying to escape. And now I'm losing the plot. But you know what I'm trying to say. When you continuously feed into that negativity, you need to look at it as a negative animal that is slowly attacking your insides. You know, some days you just don't care. You want to call a friend. You hope that they have a bottle of gasoline that they can keep pouring on the situation. And the thing just keeps blowing up in flames over and over. And you guys can both complain in this fire, and everybody's now miserable. It really doesn't do anything. Now, sometimes it might make you feel a little bit better, a little bit. I'm not perfect, okay? Believe it or not, I know that is a rumor that's been going around that I'm perfect. It's not true. But we all do it, okay? And I've noticed in myself, again, I said this in episode 1, turning 30, you start working on things that you want to work on in yourself. And this is a major one I want to work on. It's the negativity. I can feel it in my soul. I could have a day of like eating so healthy, drinking a ton of water, getting enough sleep. If I have that negativity, I might as well have had an entire pizza to myself, a whole bottle of wine, slept for 2 hours. It's no different. It's no different. You feel just as crappy. And I can feel it. Like, even if it's so small in me, I can feel it in me. It's like a disease. It's like a little disease, and I'm so sick of it. So, the comparison and the feeding the beast, they're actually related. When you're comparing yourself, you are, listen, I don't know if you're like this, but I should just talk from my own perspective. If I start comparing myself to someone, I will find one thing that they don't have to make myself feel better. You tear them down real quick, like in your head, even if it's just in your head, or you text your friend about it, or you call a friend about it. You're like, oh, really cool that she has X, Y, and Z, but did you see? And then you almost get like a little high, like, yeah, I won that round. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You fed the beast. The beast is so thrilled that you did that. And now he's going to continue scratching away at your insides just like he had been doing. So every time you compare yourself, every time you talk badly about someone, every time you tear someone down, don't do it. You're making yourself sicker. And it's funny when I go around life, like, especially if I'm working on myself and doing things like this. Now, I don't like when somebody tries to better themselves and then they start diagnosing everyone around them. Like, oh, actually, like, unless somebody's coming to me for advice, like, I'm not going to just start saying like, oh, this might really help you. Like, I noticed this and this and this in you. Like, who am I? Who am I? I do notice when I am putting this work in myself, how this disease, this beast is actually in so many people and they don't even know it. To know it is already a blessing, and to work on it is the next blessing. To not know it and just live in your misery for a very long time, sometimes your entire life, it's sad. It's really sad. So if you don't think you have it in you, and maybe you don't, maybe you are a very positive person, you mind your business and you go about life and you're content. That's awesome. Isn't it great to be you? Isn't it, Miss Perfect? I'm just kidding. Or Mr. Perfect. If you are unsure if you have this in you and you're listening to this right now, take a second and think. Because I'm telling you, until I'm like hyper aware that I do this, you don't realize how second nature it becomes. It becomes a very bad habit. And what is it doing? Nothing positive for me. Nothing. I think it is for a hot second. It's not. It's not. It's a quick hit of a drug. It's a quick serotonin boost. It's not actually solving anything, because guess what? They're going to go about their merry life and I'm still going to be me unless I choose to actively work on things I want to work on. Honestly, that leads me to my next point. I realize that, okay, when I'm in situations, whether it's work, friendships, everything, I like to be all there. I like to be fully invested in everybody that's around me. And one time, one of my friends said to me, wow, like, you know a lot about people. Or like, she didn't even mean it in a negative way. She's just like, wow, like, you know their siblings' names and their parents' names and their this, that, the dog and I'm like, yeah, like I like to like know a lot about my people. And then one day, honestly, it was pretty recent, it hit me. And I felt like I had 6,000 tabs open in my brain. I felt like I knew too much about people. It was almost becoming suffocating, and nobody was doing anything. It's too much going on up here. On top of being on social media, reading comments, checking numbers, looking at other people's pages, blah, 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 all these things. See, full circle. Now we're bringing it back to the social media. I think there's a good, like, I like to let people in. I like to tell people stories and talk, whatever. But sometimes it's too much, They're like, I don't know if I needed to say all that. Even if it's nothing that's like, it's nothing secret, it's nothing that shouldn't be out there. It's just like, I don't know if every single person needs to be privy to every piece of information at all times. And that's another thing we're working on. So between, moral of the story is this episode's about minding your own damn business. Okay. That's what it comes down to. Whether it's comparing your life to others, comparing your podcast to somebody else's, your clothes, your body type, knowing too much about the people around you to the point where it can become debilitating. In our 30s, we're minding our own business. It's not necessary to know this much about whether it's people in your life or people on the internet. It can be too much. It can be used for good, but the minute it becomes overwhelming and there's 1,001 tabs open in your brain, cut it off. Cut it off. We're done with that. We're scaling back. We're minding our own business. Okay? That's the key. We're going to mind our business so hard that we don't even have the time to compare ourselves to somebody else because we're too busy in our own world. It's good to be in your own world, right? To a point. Everything to a point. You want to be in your own world and focus on your craft and focus on yourself and bettering yourself and being a good human, blah, 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 blah. But you also have to have some level of awareness of the people around you, the people in your life, checking in on people, things like that. Like, I do think we as humans have that obligation to check on the people in our lives and see how they're doing. But there's levels to it. There's levels to it. It doesn't need to be too much all the time, or you don't need to be telling people too much all the time. There needs to be a good balance between minding your own business and checking in on people when it's necessary. Because you start to care about too much that's not necessary. And it's like, whoa, I lost the plot of my own life. I got to get back to it. I wanted to mention, it's like everything just keeps happening all at once. I complained about the tech issues in the beginning of this episode, and then my phone died. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Now, it's my own fault. It's my own fault. I didn't charge the phone to full capacity. Well, also, I didn't think I'd really be using the phone for this, so it didn't cross my mind until everything else crashed and burned. So I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm going to let this charge. We'll sit back down in the chair and we'll pick up where we left off. I took a quick breather. Okay. I sat down on the couch and I put a podcast on. Big mistake. I'm like, their set looks good. set looks good. Their outfits look good. I start doing the comparison thing. It's like the episode came to life all in one swoop. Okay, so we got a lot of work to do, and that's okay. We're gonna do it. We're gonna work on it. We're minding our business. We're working on what we need to work on. It's gonna be all good. I've given it my all. After hours of issues in the beginning till now, I've given this my all today. Thank you so much for listening. I always appreciate everybody coming back and listening to this. And if I can just give this advice to at least one person, it really, really makes my day. So I'm not joking about the studios. Like you may see a completely different background by next week. If you don't, just know we're working on it. Okay. We're working on it over here at Talkin Too Much LLC. Guys, I don't even know how long this is going to shake out to be, but hopefully a decent amount of time, and hopefully you got something out of this. I appreciate you as always listening, and we're just going to keep having fun with this. Not everything has to be so serious and heavy. This is me talking to myself. Hannah, not everything is so serious and heavy, okay? We're going to be just fine. Everything is fun. Okay? We're going to be fine. Make sure to make sure you comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications on YouTube. That's very important. Then you know when this goes live. And on Spotify, we're able to add video now, so I'm super happy about that. So if you're a Spotify listener, you can just watch and it's all in one spot. Thanks so much for watching. Let's talk too much again next week. Bye, guys.